Book. Hokage. I can evolve summoning beasts. Chapter 61. A wise choice. Itachi, all this is for real peace. This is also the true mission of our Uchiha clan. Listening to Uchiha Itachi's answer, Uchiha Obito spoke with a somewhat smug smile, and his tone was indeed filled with a fanatical sense of mission. Looking at Uchiha Obito's reaction, Uchiha Itachi did not show any abnormality, but just remained silent and listened quietly. Just as Uchiha Obito's words fell, a strange humanoid life form with a pitcher plant on top, wearing a black-bottomed red cloud robe, half black and half white, just drilled out directly from the ground. This figure is naturally Zetsu. Konoha is already preparing. Z reported to Uchiha Obito respectfully. And listening to Zetsu's report, Uchiha Itachi's eyes couldn't help but flash a few fluctuations. The Uchiha clan is no longer saved. Konoha is also preparing. My parents, clan members. Fortunately. Because of Bai Zan, some Uchiha children have been sent away by myself and Shisui. Fortunately. Shisui has faked his death and escaped, and is hiding in the Moon Country, taking care of the hopes of the Uchiha clan. Fortunately. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo promised to let their brother, Uchiha Sasuke, continue to live. Finally. It's time. Brother, you must live strong and work hard to become stronger. And Bai Zan, I hope you can take good care of my brother, Sasuke. I believe you can protect the village, Bai Zan. In that case, we'll go first. Uchiha Obito glanced at Uchiha Itachi, and then said naturally. Yes. Uchiha Itachi didn't intend to say anything more or do anything more, just as he had already prepared to become a spy infiltrating the Akatsuki organization. So, Uchiha Itachi just responded calmly. In the next moment, Uchiha Obito entered the Kamui space again and disappeared from Uchiha Itachi's eyes. And Zetsu also went underground and disappeared. Hokage building. In Sarutobi Hiruzen's Hokage office. Shimura Danzo was sitting opposite Sarutobi Hiruzen. What do you think of the information about the Akatsuki organization? Monkey. Danzo handed the information collected by Gen to Sarutobi Hiruzen, and then asked. Looking at the information in his hand, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes were very complicated. Because he saw the name of his most proud disciple, Orochimaru, in the list of members of the Akatsuki organization. In addition to Orochimaru, the remaining names also made Sarutobi Hiruzen fall into contemplation. Even if only a small part of the strength was exposed. Sarutobi Hiruzen could see the horror of this Akatsuki organization. Such a group of powerful ninjas gathered together, what on earth did they want to do? But no matter what they want to do, it must be a really big deal. But Konoha can't touch them now. Because if they are touched, Konoha will suffer heavy losses. Because Konoha is too weak now. Except for Sarutobi Hiruzen, there is no high-end combat power. Orochimaru defected, Jiraiya has been away for many years, Tsunade has basically never come back after leaving, and Tsunade even has hemophobia. It is precisely because of this. If there is a problem. Not to mention the Akatsuki organization, the other four big villages will not let Konoha go. So the most important thing now. Naturally, peace and stability are naturally, which is also the overall situation in Sarutobi Hiruzen's mind. After a moment of silence, Sarutobi Hiruzen slowly replied, we do need to be vigilant, but Konoha's current situation can no longer withstand the turmoil. Konoha needs to thrive now, and we need to wait for the next generation of Konoha shinobi to grow up. As for the Akatsuki organization, we have too little information here. Let Uchiha Itachi get some information there first, and we will make plans. Listening to Sarutobi Hiruzen's reply, Shimura Danzo's idea this time is consistent with Sarutobi Hiruzen. The batch of Uchiha children obtained in 3 years still need to grow up and train. Under the training of the root, these children will inevitably become the sharpest blades in his hands. In cooperation with some research of Orochimaru. First Hokage, the power of Senju Hashirama. Maybe. I can obtain Mangekyo, or even the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan above Mangekyo. This power belongs to Uchiha Madara. Shimura Danzo, who had experienced that era and witnessed the power of Uchiha Madara, naturally knew how powerful this power was. As long as he had this power, he would be able to stop, counterattack, or even destroy whatever Akatsuki wanted to do. More importantly, with this power, he would have the opportunity to become Hokage. That's right, having Uchiha Itachi is enough. Shimura Danzo nodded gently. Let Gen handle the matter of cooperating with Uchiha Itachi, if Uchiha Itachi is trustworthy. After a slight pause, Shimura Danzo continued. Uchiha Itachi can be trusted, and as long as Uchiha Itachi's brother, Uchiha Sasuke, is still in the village, Uchiha Itachi will not be out of our control. Sarutobi Hiruzen replied meaningfully. After a slight pause, Sarutobi Hiruzen said with emotion, just like Kagami, Uchiha Itachi is Uchiha, but he is also the successor of the Will of Fire. Listening to Sarutobi Hiruzen mentioning Kagami, their former team member, Uchiha Kagami, Shimura Danzo also fell into silence, and nodded after a moment. I see, let's leave it at that, I'm leaving first. After that, Shimura Danzo turned and left. Because en route, he has more important things. Half a month later. It was night. The Uchiha clan had a large territory. So the Uchiha clan's territory was naturally far away from the center of Konoha. In addition, Senju Tobirama originally hated Uchiha very much, and he did not suppress the Uchiha clan after becoming Hokage. Senju Tobirama was not only extremely talented in scientific research, but also good at conspiracy. After Uchiha Madara left Konoha, no one among the Uchiha could resist Senju Tobirama, so through various means, the Uchiha clan not only became the Konoha police force, but also moved from the original territory to a more remote place in the center of Konoha. It was precisely because of this. The Uchiha clan's territory was very remote. It was not difficult for Konoha, which had sufficient numbers and strength, to hide the massacre tonight. At this time, in a small forest outside the Uchiha clan's territory, Shimura Danzo was leading a group of root ninjas, looking at the Uchiha clan's territory. In front of Shimura Danzo, Uchiha Itachi, who was fully armed and ready to fight, was looking at Shimura Danzo and the group of root ninjas behind him with a complicated look. Each of them was really like a tool, with a cold and indifferent temperament, as if they had no human feelings. This was not only because of Shimura Danzo's good training, but also because of the control secret technique in Shimura Danzo's hands, the tongue trouble root seal. I have to say, this is the power of ninjas, this is the power of chakra. The means of controlling humans. But it is not less. Sir Danzo, please help me. Uchiha Itachi was used to the root ninjas, just bowed his head slightly and spoke to Shimura Danzo. After taking a deep look at Uchiha Itachi, Shimura Danzo replied directly, "You go, leave this to me." Yes. After answering, Uchiha Itachi turned around and left, walking towards the Uchiha clan's territory, at a leisurely pace, but with an extremely dangerous aura. Seeing that Uchiha Itachi was about to approach the Uchiha clan's territory, Shimura Danzo slowly stretched out his right palm and made a gesture of giving orders. In the next moment, hundreds of root ninjas who had been preparing for a long time and were good at barrier techniques, lurking in various places outside the Uchiha clan's territory, stretched out their hands and quickly formed seals. However, in an instant, weak chakra fluctuations were transmitted directly in all directions, with each root ninja who was forming seals as a node, quickly connected together to form a large barrier. The members of the Uchiha clan have all gathered together and have all entered the net barrier. Uchiha, the cancer of Konoha, can finally be completely eradicated. And I don't know how many Sharingan can be harvested this time, as well as the foundation of the Uchiha clan. Shimura Danzo murmured with narrowed eyes. But he didn't notice that as his words fell, there seemed to be some ups and downs around him, in those shadows, like insects transformed from shadows crawling by. Itachi, what do you mean by this attitude? As soon as Uchiha Itachi walked into the clan land of the Uchiha clan, more than a dozen Uchiha ninjas who were responsible for guarding the gate of the clan land of the Uchiha clan asked with some unfriendly eyes. Because of some of Uchiha Itachi's usual actions, many people in the Uchiha clan thought that Uchiha Itachi was a traitor to the Uchiha clan. Even though Uchiha Itachi is the eldest son of the Uchiha clan. If Uchiha Itachi is more low-key at ordinary times, perhaps these people will not come forward to ask. But today's Uchiha Itachi. It is indeed not friendly. What do I mean? Uchiha Itachi whispered to himself. Then, a cold chakra suddenly emerged, and Uchiha Itachi showed the three Tomo Sharingan. Of course, it is to save the Uchiha clan and to protect Konoha. The previous question was a self-question. Now it is a self-answer. As the words fell, the more than 10 ninjas in front of Uchiha Itachi already showed unbelievable and terrified expressions. Then, they stood still. At once, they controlled more than 10 ninjas of the Uchiha clan. This is Uchiha Itachi's attainment in illusion. It is also the power of Uchiha Itachi Mangekyo Sharingan. Even though Uchiha Itachi did not reveal the Mangekyo Sharingan, the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan to use the three Tomo Sharingan is already strong enough. The next moment, the ninja sword was drawn, and Uchiha Itachi's figure disappeared on the spot. After Uchiha Itachi's figure passed by the Uchiha ninjas controlled by illusions. Puchi. 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 Blood spurted out like a column, and the scene was weird and gorgeous. Uchiha Itachi's ninja sword was really fast. Bang. 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 The corpse fell to the ground, making a dull collision sound. The massacre began. In the Uchiha clan, the high-level Sharingan has a natural suppression on the low-level Sharingan. With the Mangekyo Sharingan, Uchiha Itachi was able to start the massacre easily without much effort. As for the support of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha police force. Who is that? The ninjas of the Uchiha clan looked at the distorted Uzumaki in front of them warily, and asked loudly while preparing their seals. As if there was anything wrong, these elites of the Uchiha clan would take action directly. However, when the figure of Uchiha Obito appeared, they saw an eye. A Sharingan. A Mangekyo Sharingan. What kind of eye is this? Who are you? Just when hundreds of Uchiha ninjas saw Uchiha Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan, the leader of the Konoha Police Department, Uchiha Kuroishi, asked with some fear and uneasiness. As one of the top leaders of Uchiha, Uchiha Kuroishi naturally knew some secrets about Sharingan, including Mangekyo Sharingan. But, Uchiha Kuroishi couldn't believe it at all. This masked man actually had Mangekyo Sharingan. You know. This is the powerful eye of Uchiha Madara that swept across Sengoku and almost dominated an era. This is the terrifying eye that even the tailed beasts have to bow down to. How could this person, this masked man, have this eye? Uchiha Kuroishi's heart was filled with disbelief, shock and horror. However, seeing Uchiha Kuroishi's expression, Uchiha Obito smiled coldly. Your eyes tell me that you know this eye. If that's the case, why don't you believe it? Listening to Uchiha Obito's answer, Uchiha Kuroishi naturally gritted his teeth in disbelief, and then said in a hysterical tone of unwillingness to believe. No, this is impossible. The only one who has the Mangekyo Sharingan is Lord Uchiha Madara. Lord Uchiha Madara is dead. How is this possible? How is this possible? Looking at Uchiha Kuroishi's reaction, the Uchiha ninjas around Uchiha Kuroishi naturally understood everything in an instant. It is precisely because of this. They couldn't help but reveal an extremely frightened look. Gritting his teeth, looking at the masked man who never hid his murderous intention, Uchiha Kuroishi said with a bit of madness, "No matter who you are, since you dare to break into the Konoha Police Department, you are the enemy of Konoha, and you are the enemy of Uchiha. Attack! Attack all of you!" Being stared at by Uchiha Obito like this, the terrifying pressure made Uchiha Kuroishi completely lose his mind. Listening to his voice, it contains a bit of madness. So in the next moment. Fire style Great Fireball Technique. Fire style Fengxian Fire Technique. Fire style Yanlong Fire Technique. Fire style Haohualong Technique. The Uchiha ninjas who had been prepared for a long time quickly completed the seals and released one fire style after another after Uchiha Kuroishi gave an order. And facing these raging flames, Uchiha Obito only showed a little contempt, disdain, and pity. Fireballs, fire dragons, flames, one after another fire style formed a small sea of fire in an instant, wantonly venting amazing energy and releasing terrifying high temperatures. Uchiha Obito just strolled slowly in the flames, step by step towards the group of Uchiha clan ninjas. What a group of pathetic ants. With a sigh like an exclamation, Uchiha Obito disappeared in an instant. Fire-style explosive dance. Uchiha Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan flashed slightly, causing the space in front of Uchiha Obito to form a terrifying distortion. The airflow was distorted in an instant, and the storm was formed in an instant. Facing the storm created by Kamui distorting the surrounding space, Uchiha Obito opened and spit out an extremely huge flame snake. Suddenly, the flame snake danced wildly in the space, engulfing everything in front of Uchiha Obito at an extremely terrifying speed. Ah! It hurts so much. How can the range of this technique be so large? How can the speed be so fast? No. Lord Uchiha Madara, spare my life, please spare my life. I don't want to die, I don't want to die. The wailing, the screaming, the begging, the wailing. All of this made the mockery in Uchiha Obito's eyes more intense. Perhaps for Uchiha Obito at this time, this group of people really is a group of pathetic ants. Arrogant, self-righteous, crazy and extreme. This may be the common problem of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Obito is actually the same. It's just that he doesn't think so. Perhaps in the eyes of others, Uchiha Obito is just as pathetic and pitiful as the Uchiha clan ninjas who were swallowed by the flame snake. With overwhelming power, Uchiha Obito began his slaughter. In the eyes of this Mangekyo Sharingan, these Uchiha ninjas without Mangekyo Sharingan are really no different from ants. On the other side, Uchiha Itachi, are you going to betray the Uchiha clan? The chief elder of the Uchiha clan, with a group of Uchiha clan ninjas, was glaring at Uchiha Itachi and questioned him angrily. Looking at this group of Uchiha ninjas, Uchiha Itachi just replied calmly, I didn't betray Uchiha, I just saved Uchiha. The Uchiha clan has no power to dominate Konoha. If Uchiha really starts a rebellion, then the Uchiha clan will really become the sinner of Konoha. It will be recorded in the history of Konoha and spurned forever. Or it will be forgotten by history and completely disappear in the long river of history. Let you hopeless sinners die in my hands, and the remaining Uchiha can continue to live, and even restore the glory of the Uchiha clan. Listening to Uchiha Itachi's plain words, the great elder of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Yuto, was so angry that his whole body was shaking. You, how dare you? Go, all of you come together and kill this traitor of the Uchiha clan. Kill me. Uchiha Itachi's expression was still calm, but there was a little more pity in his eyes. You really don't understand anything. In the next moment, as Uchiha Itachi's words fell, Uchiha Itachi's momentum suddenly changed, becoming cold and gloomy. The Mangekyo pattern belonging to Uchiha Itachi appeared in Uchiha Itachi's eyes. The majestic pupil power almost instantly changed the expressions of these Uchiha clan ninjas. What kind of eyes are these? Why are they so scary? Mangekyo. This is the power of Mangekyo. Uchiha Itachi, since you already have the power of Mangekyo, the chances of our Uchiha using power to dominate Konoha will definitely increase greatly. As long as you are willing to admit your mistakes now, I can forgive your previous mistakes. The elder of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Yuto, said this sincerely with a bit of greed, a bit of uneasiness, and a bit of luck. And looking at Uchiha Yuto's attitude, Uchiha Itachi sighed at last, I will not betray Konoha. You can die in peace, Uchiha will never perish. The glory of the Uchiha clan will have a chance to be restored again, and even to a higher level. As soon as this sentence landed, Uchiha Itachi didn't want to talk to these stubborn Uchiha anymore. So in the next moment, Uchiha Itachi launched an illusion. Uchiha Itachi drew out his ninja sword. Uchiha Itachi took a step. Blood gushed out, and the bodies fell to the ground in a mess. He kept launching illusions and wielding his ninja sword. Uchiha Itachi just slaughtered all the way. In fact, Uchiha Itachi was only slaughtering the ninjas of the Uchiha clan. Those old, weak, sick and disabled. We still have to start from the roots. In the forest, Shimura Danzo, who had been observing the dynamics of the Uchiha clan with secret techniques, watched Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Obito slaughtering crazily. There was a flash of pleasure in his eyes, but also a strong fear. The pleasure was naturally because he could finally fulfill his teacher's last wish and completely eradicate the cancer of the Uchiha clan. As for the fear, it was naturally because of the power of Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Obito. Such power was too strong and too terrifying. And this kind of power is the real power of Uchiha, Mangekyo Sharingan. I hope those children can awaken Mangekyo in the future. Otherwise, it will be too difficult to face these monsters. They will threaten Konoha sooner or later, so Konoha must have the means to deal with them. And the best way to deal with monsters is naturally to use the power of the monsters themselves. The Sharingan on these corpses is also a good fortune. Shimura Danzo looked at this scene and couldn't help thinking in his heart. When he saw that Uchiha Itachi and the masked man had basically killed the main fighting force of the Uchiha clan. After Shimura Danzo took a deep look at Uchiha Itachi and the masked man, he continued to give orders. With a gesture, the combat troops of the route launched the body flicker technique one by one, disappeared on the spot, and rushed to the clan of the Uchiha clan at an extremely fast speed. Their actions were without any hesitation or dragging. Clean, neat, simple, and effective, just like the most perfect tool, meticulously executing the orders given by the master. With the departure of these route combat troops, Shimura Danzo was left with only 2 personal guards and barrier ninjas who were maintaining the barrier around him. At a glance. But there were only 6 people. And this opportunity was exactly the good opportunity that Baisan had been waiting for a long time. Shimura Danzo thought that this was Konoha, and this operation was a confidential operation. Few people knew that he was here, so naturally no one would attack him here. However, he did not expect that Baisan had been waiting for him for a long time. The Uchiha clan has not been exterminated yet. Shimura Danzo has not obtained a large amount of Sharingan, and has not even tampered with his body to suppress the cells of Senju Hashirama. At this time, Shimura Danzo was just an ordinary wind-style ninja, with at most a few sealing techniques. So, the air was silent for a moment. Aburame Ryoma, one of the 2 bodyguards beside Shimura Danzo, seemed to have sensed something, and suddenly shouted in fear, "Master Danzo, be careful. My bugs." He hadn't finished his words yet. 6 path shadows suddenly emerged from the ground, and then quickly crossed the void and landed in front of the 6 ninjas on this land. The shadow twisted and transformed. 6 crows suddenly condensed. In the eyes of these 6 crows, a total of 6 pairs of Night King illusion pupils as bright as the night sky are emitting endless moonlight, starlight, fluorescence. Under the interlaced reflection of the light, the vast Yin-Dun chakra poured into their brains from their eyes in an instant. Then, their spirits were pulled into an illusion space. Where Baisan was preparing to use Yin-Dun to control this innate ability to brainwash them with hypnosis, thereby controlling their spirits. Yin-Dun originates from the spirit and is an extraordinary manifestation of the power of the spiritual origin. If you master Yin-Dun, you also master the spirit. There are actually many techniques in this world that belong to Yin-Dun. All illusions, the shadow secrets of the Nara clan, the heart-turning techniques of the Yamanaka clan, and even the various secrets of the Uchiha clan. These all belong to Yin-Dun technique, but they are not real Yin-Dun. Real Yin-Dun is more advanced than these techniques. In Baisan's opinion, only Tsukuyomi, distinguished heavenly gods, and the techniques above can be called real Yin-Dun. Baisan knew. At this moment, although he could not match the distinguished heavenly gods by using the Night King's phantom eyes and Yin-Dun control together, he was not far behind. If he used it to control Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Shisui, who had Mangekyo Sharingan, or other beings above it, he would naturally be unable to control them. But it was not particularly difficult to control a Shimura Danzo. Although this Shimura Danzo was very famous, his strength was just average. What's more, the current Shimura Danzo had not transplanted Senju Hashirama's cells, nor had he inlaid more than a dozen Sharingans on his arms. He could still control such a Shimura Danzo. So, at this moment, in the illusion space, 593, Shimura Danzo had already seen Baisan. It's you. The moment he saw Baisan, Shimura Danzo's spirit body widened his eyes, and he shouted in disbelief, anger and fear. Shimura Danzo could never have imagined that Baisan, the talent he had given up and even commented that it was difficult for him to reach Kage level, now has such a powerful power. And he actually dared to attack him. And he even succeeded. Baisan is only 7 years old this year. This is really unbelievable, too shocking. However, compared to these shocks, Shimura Danzo is more worried about why Baisan attacked him and what he will do to him next. Maybe he is used to being arrogant, Maybe he is used to being righteous, maybe he is used to oppressing people with power, authority, and status. After a slight pause, Shimura Danzo calmed down quickly, and put on a righteous look, and said to Baizan in a serious voice. Baizan, what do you want to do to me? Do you know that I am Konoha's advisor, the highest level under Hokage? Are you going to betray Konoha by attacking me? I think you are a genius. If you let me go now and join the route, I can spare you once. I hope you don't make a mistake. Shimura Danzo's voice was full of decisiveness, righteousness, and superiority. But in Shimura Danzo's eyes, Baizan could still see a bit of greed. This Baizan could actually do this, and actually possess such power. If I can get this Baizan, get this power zone. The throne of Hokage is naturally one step closer to me. If this Baizan chooses to surrender, then I really have a great harvest today. In addition to the harvest of the Uchiha clan, there is also this Baizan. Baizan has such power at the age of 7. In the future, he will definitely reach Kage level, or even reach the level of power of first Hokage Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. If I can have such power, I will definitely be able to sweep the entire ninja world. At that time, I will be the king of the entire ninja world, or even the king of the entire world. At that time, this world will have real peace. The policy of the first Hokage is wrong. Only unification is the only way to achieve peace. All I have done is for Konoha, all for peace. Thinking of this, Shimura Danzo looked at Baizan, and a little strange color flashed across his eyes. Looking at Shimura Danzo like this, Baizan really wanted to laugh. Baizan also understood Shimura Danzo. Some ideas, Shimura Danzo is definitely not wrong. For example, force, such as advocating war, such as conquest, such as unification. Konoha can become the largest ninja village and have the current status because of its strength. It is foolish for Sarutobi Hiruzen to choose to give in and compromise for the sake of stability. After all, if you take a step back, the enemy will want you to take a second step, a third step, until you have no way to retreat. People's ambitions can never be satisfied. Only by using force to scare them will they be honest. Of course, cutting the grass and eradicating the roots is the most permanent way. Just as Shimura Danzo often does. Shimura Danzo is only correct in this regard. But even if it is this correctness, Shimura Danzo is not for Konoha, but to satisfy his ambition to control power. Satisfying his ambition to control power is not wrong. But Shimura Danzo wants to spy on Baizan, control Baizan, and wants to suppress others with his status as a weak person. This is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that Baizan really smiled. Shimura Danzo, I know who you are, your position, your Jukiri. I have been planning for so long, just to take everything from you. As for betraying Konoha, who do you think you are? In my eyes, you are a cancer of Konoha. In order to control power and become the Hokage, I don't know how many outstanding ninjas of Konoha have been killed. You think you are the root of Konoha. What is the so-called root? No name, no feelings, no past, no future, only the mission in my heart. What is supporting the big tree of Konoha village behind the scenes? It is the will of us, roots, that is deeply rooted in the earth. All these are just excuses. Quote, without you, ye will only be better. Baizan's tone was even more righteous than Shimura Danzo's, and it was also sonorous and powerful, and it was also decisive. It was just like. At this moment, Baizan had already turned into a messenger of justice, angrily denouncing the evil of the sinners and judging their sins. Such a posture. It really made Shimura Danzo so angry that his eyes widened, his whole body trembled, and he couldn't even speak. You, how dare you say that to me? Shimura Danzo was really irritated by Baizan, his body was shaking constantly, and he even stuttered when he spoke. But Baizan felt happy when he saw Shimura Danzo like this. Not just happy. It was also very satisfying. Shimura Danzo, who was extremely unstable mentally, was easier to control than Shimura Danzo in a calm state. In this case, if he didn't take action now, when would he take action? So in the next moment, the majestic Yinten chakra was transformed in an instant, and then the vast shadows emerged from all directions. This shadow was like a life, crawling towards Shimura Danzo in an instant, just like a swamp swallowing all living things, swallowing Shimura Danzo into the shadow. Then, it hurts. What is this? It really hurts. No. No. Bai Zan. Please, please let me go. It hurts so much. It hurts so much. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. The screams of pain continued to ring out, but Bai Zan sneered. Let Danzo go. This is really a joke. At first, Danzo still had the strength to scream and beg for mercy. But slowly, Danzo finally reacted. Bai Zan would never let him go. So Danzo changed from begging for mercy to cursing. And as long as Shimura Danzo cursed, Bai Zan would double the pain. So, Shimura Danzo had no time to curse. Screaming, wailing, screaming, struggling, twitching, time passed. Pain, torture, hypnosis, brainwashing. Over and over again, over and over again. Although this illusion space is not as comprehensive as the Tsukuyomi space. But Bai Zan can also affect time to a certain extent. Even because of the two talents of Night King's Phantom Eyes and Yin-Dun control, Bai Zan can also dominate Danzo's five senses to a certain extent, thereby changing Danzo's cognition to a certain extent. In Danzo's cognition, after experiencing decades of painful torture, he agreed to Bai Zan and became his dog. Then, he became Bai Zan's dog for hundreds of years, during which he went through countless training, hypnosis, and brainwashing. The words loyalty and obedience have been deeply engraved in Danzo's mind. At this time, Danzo has truly become Bai Zan's dog. And in Danzo's spirit, Bai Zan also left a backup, a special restriction condensed by Yin-Tun chakra. This restriction was taught to Bai Zan by Danzo. After all, in the torture of this illusion space, and the destruction of Yin-Dun chakra, Danzo is not as strong as he thinks. This restriction is used by Danzo to control some important roots. It is more vicious than the tongue disaster root seal, called the heart-destroying god seal. It is said that when Senju Tobarama created this technique, he also referred to the caged bird of the Hyuga clan. Once the restriction is placed, ordinary humans will never be able to remove it, and there is no way to remove it. Of course, if you reach the level of Sage of Six Paths, you can naturally remove it easily. However, the probability of Danzo controlling the power of Six Paths is naturally not high. In this way, in Danzo's perception, hundreds of years of hypnosis brainwashing training, and this heart-destroying god seal restriction in reality, Danzo is basically impossible to escape Bai Zan's control. 1 second passed in reality. Danzo and the other 5 root ninjas finally woke up. After a flash of confusion in the eyes of the other 5 root ninjas, they suddenly reacted. It seemed that someone was going to attack. Why did I suddenly lose my focus? Then when they were confused, Shimura Danzo, who had already reacted, reminded them in a calm tone as usual, focus. Although Danzo's voice was calm, the 5 root ninjas subconsciously straightened their faces and lowered their heads slightly. Years of special training have made these root ninjas accustomed to obey Shimura Danzo's orders unconditionally. As for doubts, or everything else, haha. The so-called root people have no names, no emotions. No past, no future, only tasks in their hearts. That's right. The root ninjas don't need these messy things, they just need to obey Shimura Danzo's orders unconditionally. And now Shimura Danzo has become Bai Zan's man. Although there seems to be no change in appearance, there has been a great change in spirit. If you check carefully, you will find that Shimura Danzo is abnormal. But in Konoha village, is there anyone who can check Shimura Danzo's spirit carefully? No. In addition, Bai Zan only intends to let Shimura Danzo continue to keep a low profile and not do anything that violates Shimura Danzo's own personality characteristics. So, the probability of Shimura Danzo being exposed is very small. And when Shimura Danzo is really exposed, by that time, Bai Zan has completely grown up. It's exposed. By then, Bai Zan no longer needs to play these tricks. Use force to suppress others, and everything will not be accepted. Sasuke, you must live strong and work hard to become stronger. Looking at Uchiha Sasuke lying on the ground, Uchiha Itachi whispered in a complicated voice. After saying this, Uchiha Itachi looked at Uchiha Sasuke deeply for the last time, then activated the body flicker technique and disappeared directly from the spot. After Uchiha Itachi disappeared, the masked root ninja of Haname quickly appeared. The figure kept moving. The action was clean and neat, cleaning the battlefield. It's a real headache. Uchiha Obito was able to use illusion to forcibly control the fourth Mizukage, Yagura, who was the Three Tails Jinchuriki, for several years. I used a tricky method to use the two abilities of Night King's Phantom Eyes and Yindun Control to control a Danzo, but the consumption was so great. You are still too young and have not accumulated enough. Bai Zan, who was staying in the room, gently rubbed the sides of his head, murmured in a low voice with his eyebrows down. After the headache was relieved a little, Bai Zan slowly closed his eyes and began to summarize what he had just gained. But I have to say that the saying of killing an arson for the gold belt is really the truth of the world. Today, I finally controlled Danzo, and it feels really good to accept the wealth accumulated by Danzo for many years. Quote. A lot of knowledge, ninjutsu, secret techniques, forbidden technique, and various precious materials, Senju Hashirama's cells, tailed beast's chakra, and Senju Tobarama's experimental data, and so on and so forth. Although this Shimura Danzo is not a very good person, he still has some abilities. The name of the dark ninja world is not exaggerated. He has done countless conspiracies, robberies, and other things, and thus collected many good things. There is one tail Shukaku chakra required for the third evolution of Hayate, and 9 tails Kurama chakra required for the evolution of red clothes. But the amount is not much, and I don't know if it is enough for Hayate and red clothes to evolve. Forget it. There is no need to guess about this matter. When the time comes, take the 1 tail Shukaku chakra collected by the roots and the 9 tails Kurama chakra, and use the system to see if it is enough for Hayate and red clothes to evolve. As for now, I should still study hard. Quote. Since the root has collected so much knowledge, various ninjutsu, secret techniques, forbidden techniques, sealing techniques, medical ninjutsu, various knowledge about spirit, body structure, cells, and chakra, and the experimental data and forbidden knowledge left by the various forbidden experiments conducted by the great scientist Senju Tobarama, and so on and so forth. Material wealth is material wealth, and knowledge wealth is knowledge wealth. I am at the age of learning, so I should study hard. After digesting all this knowledge, it will be very beneficial for me to develop secret techniques and become stronger. As for those material wealth, let's talk about it later. Don't worry, there are still 5 years before graduation, and there is still a long time. Just like that, Bai Zan finally pressed his head and stood up. Go to bed early today. The next day, the entire ninja world was shocked by the information that the Uchiha clan was exterminated. The Uchiha clan that everyone in the ninja world knows, the Uchiha clan of the Shura of the ninja world Uchiha Madara, the Uchiha clan of the Sharingan. They were actually exterminated. And the murderer of this tragic case was the eldest son of the current patriarch of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Fugaku, the eldest son of the Uchiha clan, and a genius ninja Uchiha. And the only survivor of the Uchiha clan is Uchiha Sasuke, the younger brother of Uchiha Itachi. Such news really made the whole ninja world boil. Even except for the fourth Mizukage Yagura who was controlled by Uchiha Obito, the other 3 big villages wanted to take action against the current Konoha village. After all, the Uchiha clan is one of the important fighting forces of Konoha. Now that this fighting force is gone, how much strength does Yishu have left now? They all want to know. They even want to try. But the Third Ninja World War had just ended, and they still needed to reproduce. So they were just moved, but not acted. If they wanted to act. Unless that big village took action first. They would follow behind to take advantage. Otherwise, they would not be the first to do it. Facing this situation, Sarutobi Hiruzen also knew it well. So Sarutobi Hiruzen followed the plan he and Uchiha Itachi had agreed on slowly. He directly issued a document in an official capacity, announcing that Uchiha Itachi would be identified as an S-level trader in Konoha, and a bounty was issued on the underground black market. And such a big thing. Konoha village would naturally react. Ninjas, civilians, adults, and children. In terms of chatting and 8 trigrams, ordinary people do have some similarities with ninjas. And the ninja school, or Bai Zan's class, naturally reacted a lot. After all, Uchiha Sasuke is Bai Zan's classmate. Today, Uchiha Sasuke didn't come to the classroom, and all the students couldn't help but look at the empty seat that belonged to Uchiha Sasuke from time to time. Even Iruka was the same. After class, while the students hadn't left the classroom yet, Baizan quickly came to the podium. Dear classmates. Quote. I think everyone already knows about Uchiha. Now Uchiha Zhao Zhao's Sasuke is lying in the hospital. I hope that as classmates, we can go to see Uchiha Sasuke after school. Baizan's voice was neither too loud nor too soft, just loud enough for all the students in the class to hear. Listening to Baizan's words, the students below were also silent in an instant. As Baizan's good friend, Uzumaki Naruto, stood up and shouted loudly the moment Baizan finished speaking, we are all classmates in the same class. Sasuke is in trouble, so we naturally have to go and see him. What's there to say about this? Quote. Indeed, let's go visit Uchiha Sasuke after school. Baizan-kun is really kind, and the more I see him, the more perfect he becomes. It seems something strange has sneaked in. After school. Under Baizan's organization, the students of this class walked towards the hospital of Konoha village. On the way, many civilians and ninjas couldn't help but cast their eyes on Baizan's student team. It has to be said. In this era, such scenes are not rare. And Baizan, who took the lead, was even more eye-catching. Under the attention of everyone, Baizan and others finally arrived at the hospital. After asking about Uchiha Sasuke's ward from a pretty nurse, everyone lined up and walked into the ward, and took care of Uchiha Sasuke. Of course, Baizan and his friends didn't go empty-handed. Flowers, fruits, food. There are always some things. These things were naturally prepared by Baizan, and then distributed to these students one by one. After all, Baizan felt that Uchiha Itachi called him, Baizan-jun, and he got so many benefits from Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Shisui. Uchiha Sasuke is my younger brother. Baizan thinks he can recognize him. Since he can recognize him, it is only right to send him 890 points of warmth. At this time, in the corridor of the hospital, Baizan quietly looked at a team in front of him. The students lined up, and 3 students entered the ward at a time to visit Uchiha Sasuke and leave gifts. That's it. After one student after another came out after visiting Uchiha Sasuke. At the end, Baizan, Uzumaki Naruto, and Hyuga Hinata also walked into the ward. As soon as Baizan walked into the ward, Uchiha Sasuke cast his eyes directly at him. In Uchiha Sasuke's eyes, there was a complex color. He didn't expect that Baizan would do this. This made Uchiha Sasuke, who had just received a heavy blow, feel a little warmth after all. After a moment of silence, Uchiha Sasuke asked with a little hoarseness, Baizan, why do you do this? Hearing Uchiha Sasuke's question, Baizan put the gift aside, and then replied with a gentle smile, people have feelings after all. You are our classmate, and we have been together for nearly a year. You are in trouble, and it is right for us to come to visit you. Hearing Baizan's words, Uchiha Sasuke was silent for a while, and then continued to say, I don't need these. Sometimes, it's not whether you need it or not, but whether we have done it or not. Baizan replied calmly. After this sentence, Baizan continued to say, I know what you want now. You want power, you want revenge. We are not an obstacle for you to gain power and complete revenge. On the contrary, we are your helpers to gain power and complete revenge. Listening to Baizan's words, Uchiha Sasuke's brows were tightly locked. His eyes swept over Uzumaki Naruto, who was smiling foolishly at him beside Baizan, and the timid and quiet Hyuga Hinata. Finally, Uchiha Sasuke's eyes still stopped on Baizan. Recalling the strength of Baizan and the other two, Uchiha Sasuke raised his head and asked seriously and cautiously, Baizan, please tell me how you can help me. After a moment of silence, Baizan's face became serious, and then he said seriously, we are all students of the ninja school, and a considerable number of students can become ninjas after graduation. Since you become a ninja, you have power. CBEA, some strong people will definitely be born among them. Although Uchiha Itachi is very strong, I believe that my strength after graduation will not be bad. I don't know if it's me, Naruto and Hinata's strength will not be bad. Hearing Baizan mention his name, Uzumaki Naruto also said seriously. Yes, Sasuke, I can become a powerful ninja after graduation. As long as you need it, I can lend you my power at any time. When the time comes, we will be able to help you complete your revenge with so many people together. Although Uchiha Sasuke thinks that Uchiha Itachi is really strong, it is not something that Uzumaki Naruto can resist. But if it was Baizen, maybe with the help of Baizen's power, I can complete my revenge. After all, Uchiha Itachi, this man, will be very formal Baizen. Relying on the power of others to take revenge, is it really what I want? No. No. That man, Uchiha Itachi, I must kill him with my own hands to truly complete my revenge. Thinking of this, Uchiha Sasuke looked at Baizen with a deep expression, and then gritted his teeth and said word by word, Baizen, thank you for your kindness. I don't need to rely on your power to complete my revenge. I will kill that man with my own hands. Only by killing that man with my own hands can I truly complete my revenge. While saying this, Uchiha Sasuke's originally handsome face couldn't help but become a little hideous and scary. That's exactly it. Uzumaki Naruto and Hyuga Hinata finally understood some of the hatred in Uchiha Sasuke's heart. So Naruto was silent, and Tien didn't plan to say anything. As for Baizen, he said with a plan, Uchiha Sasuke. The volume of this voice was quite high, and Uchiha Sasuke's face suddenly turned serious. Seeing that Uchiha Sasuke had recovered a little, Baizen continued to ask, do you know why Naruto and I are so strong? Baizen's question really made Uchiha Sasuke fall into silence. Looking at Baizen and Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke also had some guesses in his heart. After pondering for a moment, Uchiha Sasuke said with some uncertainty, could it be? You are right. As soon as Uchiha Sasuke said the word, could it be, Baizen interrupted Uchiha Sasuke's words. Without any hesitation, Baizen continued, Naruto and I have a very good teacher. He is the spiritual Jonin of Konoha village, Might Guy. Although Uchiha Itachi is very strong, his teaching is not necessarily strong. And although Uchiha Itachi is strong, he is not strong to the point of being scary. Otherwise, Uchiha Itachi would not have rebelled so decisively. Instead, he continued to kill people in Konoha village and then left in a swagger. Since Uchiha Itachi did not kill people, it proves that he is still afraid of the ninja power in Konoha village. Not to mention Hokage, the elite Jonin in the village are already very powerful. As long as you are sincere and ask for advice sincerely, there will definitely be elite Jonin willing to teach you to practice. Quote. Perhaps this elite Jonin who is willing to teach you how to practice will not be a match for Uchiha Itachi. But the elite Jonin is the elite Jonin, Uchiha Sasuke. If you can learn all the methods of this elite Jonin and surpass him, you may be able to control the power of revenge. As Baizen spoke, the look in Uchiha Sasuke's eyes became brighter and brighter. What Baizen said was right. This really makes sense. Of course. Baizen's words were not finished. If you want, Naruto and I can take you to see Might Guy teacher. If Might Guy teacher is willing to teach you how to practice, you can often practice with me and Naruto and compete with each other. Single quote. It is not good to practice alone. You need guidance, partners, and opponents. You will become stronger faster if you are with us. Baizen's words were very sincere. That's why Uchiha Sasuke was really moved this time. His voice couldn't help but tremble a little, and Uchiha Sasuke choked up and replied, Thank you, Baizen-kun. Thank you very much, Baizen-kun. Seeing Uchiha Sasuke's reaction, Baizen couldn't help but smile with relief. Uzumaki Naruto might lose the extremely powerful bloodline limit of mouth-to-mouth. And I, Baizen, have mastered the ultimate secret of mouth-to-mouth. Now Naruto and Sasuke are both fooled by me. In addition, Shimura Danzo, the pot shadow, has also been controlled by me. As long as I don't waste time. The final winner must be me. Thinking like this, Baizen still replied in a gentle voice on the surface, no need to do that. Sasuke, just take a good rest. Only with a healthy body can you practice more efficiently and be strong. When you are discharged from the hospital, I will take you to see Might Guy. Hearing Baizen's words, Uchiha Sasuke nodded heavily, and then said to Baizen with emotion, Well, thank you very much, Baizan, Naruto, and Hinata. Hearing Uchiha Sasuke's thanks, Baizan did not respond. Hinata just nodded slightly and gave Uchiha Sasuke a friendly smile. But Uzumaki Naruto smiled and replied, Sasuke, you should have a good rest. If you worship Might Guy as your master, we can practice together every day. Quote. Uzumaki Naruto seemed very happy to be able to practice with Uchiha Sasuke every day. Uchiha Sasuke seemed a little happy to see Uzumaki Naruto like this, and wanted to smile, but he couldn't. So Uchiha Sasuke couldn't help but fall into silence, not knowing what to say. After a slight pause, Uchiha Sasuke's eyes turned to Baizan. Okay, Naruto, Hinata, let's go, don't disturb Uchiha Sasuke's rest. Quote. Baizan knew what Uchiha Sasuke meant, so he said goodbye directly. Baizan, goodbye. Sasuke, goodbye. Goodbye. Baizan, Naruto, Hinata were the last group to visit Uchiha Sasuke. So after Baizan, Naruto, Hinata came out, Uchiha Sasuke completely quieted down. Recalling the conversation with Baizan just now, Uchiha Sasuke's eyes also showed a little more relief. Although this relief is not much, it is better than the original suffocating heaviness. Thank you, Zanjun. After murmuring in his heart, Uchiha Sasuke closed his eyes. After Baizan, Naruto, and Hinata walked out of the ward, they went home with their classmates. Uchiha Sasuke's matter was also dealt with. Hokage building. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the scene in the crystal ball in front of him, and his eyes couldn't help but reveal a deep sense of relief and satisfaction. I was right about Baizan, the child. He is the successor of the will of fire. Whether it is talent, strength, wisdom, character, or morality, they are all top choices. As long as you grow up, you will definitely become the guardian of Konoha. I, Sarutobi Hiruzen, have done so much for the stability of Konoha, to create a space for the next generation of Konoha to grow up safely. Seeing Baizan, seeing the next generation of Konoha. I just know that my choice is not wrong. Sarutobi Hiruzen's voice is full of emotion. After a slight pause, Sarutobi Hiruzen gently brushed the crystal ball again, causing the figure of Uchiha Sasuke to emerge in the crystal ball. Baizan wants to take Uchiha Sasuke to see Might Guy, but Might Guy is not suitable to guide Uchiha Sasuke. Uchiha Sasuke, let Kakashi take care of him. Maru. 3 days later. Uchiha Sasuke was discharged from the hospital. Baizan, Naruto, Tenten, and Hinata took Uchiha Sasuke to the forest where Might Guy often practiced. Yeah. Konoha has a lot of forests. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had planned everything, naturally sent Hitaki Kakashi to Might Guy. So when Baizan, Naruto, Tenten, Hinata, and Sasuke met Might Guy was already sparring with Hitaki Kakashi. Might Guy, who did not open the 8 inner gates, was fighting Hitaki Kakashi, who did not use the Sharingan. Kakashi, take my leaf-strong whirlwind. Might Guy, who seemed to have turned into a green phantom, raised his right leg in an instant, and his chakra burst out, and the whirlwind swept and raged. Bang! Hitaki Kakashi's figure disappeared instantly. Where his figure disappeared, the wooden stakes of body replacement technique shattered into sawdust all over the sky, and the scene was extremely horrifying. Might Guy is an expert in physical skills. Every punch and kick is very clean and powerful. With chakra, he can almost tear the air, generate extremely strong whirlwinds, and sweep the dust between the sky and the earth. And this Hitaki Kakashi is also an excellent ninja who has experienced hundreds of battles. Even if it is called a 50-50 match, it is really incredible. It doesn't matter if there is a lot of chakra. This is not a real fight, just a competition. Body flicker technique, body replacement technique, clone technique, and many other small ninjutsu are played by Hitaki Kakashi to perfection, flexible and changeable, showing the typical and weird style of ninja. It is precisely because of this. For a while, Might Guy and Hitaki Kakashi really fought back and forth, and there was no difference in strength. In such a battle, for Naruto, who had seen Baizan and Might Guy sparring, every day was nothing. But for Hinata and Sasuke, they couldn't help but widen their eyes and open their mouths. Although they had seen many ninjas practicing and sparring in the clan. But in Konoha village, there were very few ninjas who could compare with Might Guy and Hitaki Kakashi. In addition, the fists were really powerful and domineering. And Hitaki Kakashi was called a copy ninja who copied thousands of ninjutsu, and the fight was really dazzling. One was domineering, and the other was changeable. Such a fight was really very interesting. No. Or it was very exciting. Might Guy had regarded Hitaki Kakashi as his opponent since he was a child, and the two had no idea how many times they had sparred. It was also because of this. The two knew each other very well. Since they knew each other so well, the fight was naturally more exciting. Simply. It was like a performance. Guy, let's make the final move to decide the outcome. Hitaki Kakashi, who had just finished a fight and successfully escaped from Might Guy's attack range using the body replacement technique, spoke directly to Might Guy when he saw Baisan, Sasuke and others on the side. Might Guy, who also noticed the arrival of Baisan and others, smiled when he heard Kakashi's words, "Okay, let's make the final move." As soon as these words fell, Kakashi began to form seals. And Might Guy also took out a pair of nunchakus. Double attack teeth. In an instant, Might Guy disappeared directly on the spot, and the nunchaku in his hand was completely wrapped by the extremely rich and violent chakra. At the same time, he turned into a green phantom and swung it fiercely at Kakashi. This pair of nunchakus really seemed to have turned into a pair of fangs of a wild beast, as fierce and violent as a pair of wild beasts. And Might Guy holding the pair of nunchakus seemed to have turned into a ferocious and brutal beast. This is Konoha's proud blue beast. Facing such a ferocious Might Guy, Kakashi just stretched out his right hand. Chidori. Squeak 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 squeak. Accompanied by the thunderous sound of the chidori, electric currents immediately appeared on Kakashi's right palm, and the lightning crisscrossed, wantonly venting extremely violent destructive energy. In the next moment, the nunchaku turned into a pair of beast fangs, and collided with the chidori thunder in Kakashi's palm. Bang! Accompanied by the dull collision sound, the lightning suddenly became bright, and the strong airflow swept in all directions with amazing energy, blowing the smoke and dust on the ground into circles of smoke waves. The terrifying force was transmitted in an instant, and the ground under Might Guy and Kakashi's feet collapsed in an instant, with dense, hideous cracks appearing one after another. A breeze blew by, the thunder disappeared, Might Guy put away his nunchakus directly, and then showed Kakashi a bright smile. Ha 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 ha, Kakashi, this time the competition is a draw. Recently, I have lost less and less times. It seems that it won't be long before I can surpass you. Ha ha ha. Might Guy laughed very happily. And Kakashi's eyes did flash a little helpless. Watching this scene, Baisan, Tiantian, Naruto, the three who have seen Might Guy and Kakashi compete several times, this scene is very common. But for Uchiha Sasuke, he couldn't help but widen his eyes. Is that move just now called Chidori? The lightning-style chakra of that breath is really terrifying. And such a move was actually blocked by the opponent's physical technique released with nunchakus. Might Guy. This is Baisan's teacher. Such power is indeed very strong. But this masked Kakashi is also very strong. Not only does he master so many conventional ninjutsu, but also the Chidori just now. Is this the Jonin of Konoha? Baisan really didn't lie to me. Kakashi, who didn't want to pay attention to Might Guy, turned around and cast his eyes on Baisan and his group. Kakashi had seen Naruto before, although when he first met him, Kakashi was really surprised why his teacher Namikaze Minato's child had such a personality. But he got used to it after a long time, and there was nothing wrong with it. With Baisan's care, Naruto was quite happy. And he also raised a dog, which made Kakashi feel a little bit of intimacy. After all, Kakashi also liked dogs very much, and he also raised 8 ninja dogs for tracking and assisting in combat. More importantly, Kakashi seemed to have engraved a relief of a dog's head on the defensive Earth-style ninjutsu, Earth-style Tulubi. This was also the method Kakashi came up with when he wanted to exercise his control over chakra and chakra Earth-style nature transformation. I have to say, it's quite effective. Maybe because they are all dog owners, Kakashi has a good relationship with Bai 21 Zan and Naruto. Kakashi has also met Hinata Tiantian. But today's protagonist is Uchiha Sasuke. Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage, has given instructions to Kakashi. Kakashi's eyes quickly swept over Uchiha Sasuke, and he couldn't help but feel a little emotional. Kakashi has too many memories of the Uchiha clan. But on the surface, Kakashi looked normal. Hey, Bai-zan, you guys come to practice. Yes, Kakashi Sr. Bai-zan responded politely. And Kakashi didn't say anything, just stood aside quietly. Sarutobi Hiruzen has already told him all the causes and consequences. So, Kakashi, who has already put down the bait, just needs to wait for the fish to take the bait. From the moment he saw Kakashi, Bai-zan had guessed almost everything. But acting has to be done in full. Then, Bai-zan directly said to Might Guy, Mr. Guy, this is Uchiha Sasuke, I hope you can guide him in his training. Seeing Bai-zan's reaction, Uchiha Sasuke looked at Kakashi, and then turned his attention to Bai-zan and Might Guy. To be honest. In fact, Uchiha Sasuke wanted to get Kakashi's guidance and learn the move that Kakashi just released, Chidori. The momentum and power of this move really suited Uchiha Sasuke's appetite. But Uchiha Sasuke also knew that Bai-zan was kind-hearted, and Might Guy could not be offended and must be respected. After all, wouldn't it be better if he could get guidance from two elite Jonin? He, Uchiha Sasuke, not only wanted guidance from Might Guy, but also from Kakashi. So after a slight pause, Uchiha Sasuke bowed his head to Might Guy, and then said earnestly, Senior Guy, my name is Uchiha Sasuke, I hope you can guide me in my training, please. After saying, please, Uchiha Sasuke changed from bowing his head to bowing. Looking at Uchiha Sasuke's reaction, Might Guy paused for a moment, and then his face straightened. In fact, for Might Guy, as long as he didn't pass on the 8 inner gates, other Guken techniques or leaf flow techniques were not important. Adding to the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen's reminder, Might Guy didn't hesitate for long, and said directly, guidance is no problem. But I only know taijutsu, but you obviously don't want to learn only taijutsu. Quote. As Might Guy finished speaking, Kakashi on the side said directly, let's do this. Uchiha Sasuke, my name is Hitaki Kakashi, and I am also a Jonin of Konoha. You should spar with Naruto first, so that I can see your experience. If it is suitable, let me guide your practice. Listening to Might Guy's words, Uchiha Sasuke was still a little disappointed. But Kakashi's words made Uchiha Sasuke's eyes light up. Yes, compared to me, Kakashi is more suitable for you. Of course. If you want to practice taijutsu, you can also ask me, and I can also guide your taijutsu practice. Quote. Might Guy on the side responded with a smile. Hearing Might Guy's words, Uchiha Sasuke couldn't help but reveal an extremely strong ecstasy in his eyes. He didn't expect that things would go so smoothly. This time, he is one step closer to revenge. Thank you, Senior Guy, thank you, Senior Kakashi. Uchiha Sasuke bowed to Kakashi again. Then, Uchiha Sasuke turned his eyes to Uzumaki Naruto on the side. As for Uzumaki Naruto, hearing that Kakashi was willing to guide 940 Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto's heart was only joy and happiness, joy for Uchiha Sasuke, and happy for Uchiha Sasuke. Since that's the case, Naruto is naturally very happy to cooperate with Uchiha Sasuke and spar with Uchiha Sasuke. Speaking of, in the ninja school, Bai-zan is the undisputed number 1, both in terms of culture and strength. Although Naruto's culture is still the last, Naruto's strength is often ranked second, and sometimes even third. And what about Uchiha Sasuke? He used his skills a few times and actually beat Uzumaki Naruto once or twice. Since he knew that he could not surpass Bai-zan, Uchiha Sasuke's goal turned to Uzumaki Naruto. Originally, Uchiha Sasuke planned to wait until he surpassed Uzumaki Naruto before challenging Bai-zan. But until now, Uchiha Sasuke still loses more than he wins against Uzumaki Naruto. Thinking of this, Uchiha Sasuke has already walked to the opposite side of Naruto. You two should do your best, don't be afraid of hurting each other. With two Jonin here, nothing will happen to you. Kakashi said calmly. However, Kakashi's words made Uzumaki Naruto stunned. After hesitating for a moment, Uzumaki Naruto turned his eyes to Might Guy. Seeing Uzumaki Naruto's reaction, Uchiha Sasuke was stunned. Uchiha Sasuke was not stupid, so he naturally saw it. Uzumaki Naruto seemed to have something to hide and could not use his full strength. Just after this thought flashed through Uchiha Sasuke's mind, Uzumaki Naruto asked Might Guy, "Teacher Guy, can I use my full strength?" Hearing Uzumaki Naruto's question, Might Guy couldn't help but hesitate. This scene. Naturally, Kakashi understood. After a slight pause, he said to Might Guy, "Guy, you actually passed that move to Naruto." In that case, Kakashi seemed to be about to say that Uzumaki Naruto didn't need to use that move. But Baisan spoke directly, "Teacher Guy, let Uzumaki Naruto use that move. The stronger Uzumaki Naruto is, the more at ease Uchiha Sasuke will be. Because only in this way, he knows that he can become stronger quickly by following Senior Kakashi. Sometimes ninjas need to hide themselves, but sometimes they don't. Showing strength is actually very important." As Baisan's words fell, Might Guy thought about it, and it seemed to be the case, so Might Guy nodded. What Baisan said makes sense. "Sasuke, Naruto's power is really strong, you just do your best." Quote. "Naruto, I need you to go all out. Although this time it's not to fight the enemy, it's also to reassure your companions. Go. Go and bloom your youth." Quote. As he said this, Might Guy gave Uzumaki Naruto a thumbs up and showed the big white fang. It was Might Guy's reaction that made Uchiha Sasuke suddenly laugh and cry. So, in the previous competitions, Uzumaki Naruto had never shown his power. So, the teacher of Baisan and Uzumaki Naruto was so unreliable. This is really. Uchiha Sasuke didn't know what to say. But such a powerful Jonin said so. Then I'll do my best. Actually, I'm not as weak as you think. I also mastered a powerful fire style. With Jonin here, I'm sure nothing will happen. In that case, then I'll show you my Uchiha Sasuke's true strength. Just as Uchiha Sasuke was thinking this, Uzumaki Naruto, who was looking at Might Guy, showed a complex emotion of being touched, excited, and excited. "Teacher Guy, I know. I will let you see my efforts." After replying to Might Guy, Uzumaki Naruto said to Uchiha Sasuke carefully, "Sasuke, you have to be careful." After the words fell, Uzumaki Naruto began to take off the weights on his body. Bang! 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 Pieces of heavy weights fell to the ground, and looking at the dust and smoke that splashed, Uchiha Sasuke's eyelids could not help but jump 10 times. Uzumaki Naruto is so strong. And there are such weights, actually worn in these parts, this is really scary. Uchiha Sasuke's eyes revealed a deep heaviness. Then the heavy look in his eyes had not disappeared, but immediately turned into a look of shock. Because 8 inner gates, the first gate, open the door, open. After a roar, Uzumaki Naruto's momentum changed almost instantly, and the violent momentum made Uchiha Sasuke clearly feel the power of Uzumaki Naruto. The 8 inner gates is to temporarily gain powerful power by unlocking the channels that bind the chakra in the human body. But the power of the 8 inner gates depends on the caster himself, and it increases exponentially with the caster's own power, so the power of different people after opening the 8 inner gates is also different. In short, different physiques will get different increases after opening the 8 inner gates. Uzumaki Naruto is a sage body. He opened the 8 inner gates, and the increase was much greater than that of ordinary people opening the 8 inner gates. "Sasuke, you go first." Uzumaki Naruto, who was full of vigor, said in a deep voice. 7-year-old Uzumaki Naruto was able to open the first gate of the 8 inner gates. Opening the gate was not easy. So, Uzumaki Naruto could only open the first gate of the 8 inner gates. Opening the gate. Uzumaki Naruto in the open state was Uzumaki Naruto's strongest state at this time. Uchiha Sasuke did not give in. Because Uzumaki Naruto's momentum had exceeded Uchiha Sasuke's imagination. Although some Jonin had said that Uzumaki Naruto was very strong. But being so strong also shocked Uchiha Sasuke. And when Uzumaki Naruto just revealed the moves he used, Uchiha Sasuke was really shocked. 8 inner gates, the first gate, Tianmen. Simply put, there are 8 king's gates in total. The first gate is so powerful, what about the 8 gates? This is too terrifying. Is this the true power of a ninja? However, Uchiha Sasuke also knew that now was not the time for him to think wildly. So he was just slightly stunned, and when these thoughts flashed through his mind in an instant, Quan Ji directly stretched out his hands. Seal. Now there is no need to be afraid of hurting others. Fire style great fireball technique. Raised his right hand, puffed up and spit fire. Huh. The raging fire gushed out in an instant, turning into a fireball with a diameter of 3 meters, spraying towards Uzumaki Naruto. Sasuke, this move is powerful, but the speed is too slow. After a comment, Uzumaki Naruto disappeared on the spot. Listening to Uzumaki Naruto's comments and watching Uzumaki Naruto's speed, Uchiha Sasuke knew that something was wrong. After a pause, Uchiha Sasuke forcibly stopped the fire-style great fireball technique. Even though the scorching heat choked his throat and made it smoke, Uchiha Sasuke endured the pain and quickly formed a seal. I have to say, in some aspects, Uchiha Sasuke is still quite good. Leaf Great Whirlwind. After a low shout, Uzumaki Naruto came to Uchiha Sasuke's side in a breath. Then, the whirlwind swept, and the whip kick hit. Bang! The collision sounded in an instant, and the wooden stakes used by the body replacement technique were kicked into two halves by Uzumaki Naruto in an instant, and flew away. In a breath, the two sections of the wooden stakes flew nearly 10 meters away. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Sasuke was shocked. The power is so strong. After Uzumaki Naruto failed to hit, his body disappeared again. Such a reaction really made Uchiha Sasuke not have time to be shocked. After reacting quickly, Maozebo Sasuke took a defensive posture. In fact, Uchiha Sasuke wanted to throw kunai or shuriken. What a pity. Uzumaki Naruto's speed made it impossible for Uchiha Sasuke to make such a move. Bang! This kick finally kicked Uchiha Sasuke's two-fingered arm. The huge force was transmitted and the pain spread. This Uzumaki Naruto is so strong. Uchiha Sasuke, who retreated nearly 3 steps, couldn't help but grit his teeth. But Uzumaki Naruto launched a continuous offensive. Under the use of the hard fist and the fluid technique, Uchiha Sasuke could only defend himself in a desperate situation, or even endure the beating, unable to resist. Fortunately, Uzumaki Naruto only used all his strength, not a real fight. Each punch, each kick, each move, and each style did not target Uchiha Sasuke's vital points, but attacked some insignificant parts. Of course, Uchiha Sasuke also saw this. For his inability to resist, Uchiha Sasuke just wanted to endure silently, and let this CBED painful failure become a record of his efforts. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. As soon as these 3 minutes were up, Uchiha Sasuke completely lost the ability to resist and dodge. As for Uzumaki Naruto, he also stopped beating Uchiha Sasuke. Because if he continued to fight, Uchiha Sasuke would be injured. Panting, Uchiha Sasuke looked at Uzumaki Naruto with a bitter expression, and then said as if self-deprecatingly, "So, Uzumaki Naruto, you are strong." Because of being too tired and in pain, Uchiha Sasuke's words were a little intermittent. As for Uzumaki Naruto, after closing the door, he still looked normal. For Uzumaki Naruto, who has a sage body, it was just a 3-minute door opening, and he just felt a little tired, and there was no other side effect at all. Then, Uzumaki Naruto, who just felt a little tired, smiled and replied, "Ha ha ha ha, it's okay. It's just that I practiced with Teacher Guy for a few more years. If you were given these years, Sasuke, you would definitely be stronger than me." Fortunately, after being with Baizen for so long, Uzumaki Naruto didn't want to be as stupid as before. Listening to Uzumaki Naruto's answer, Uchiha Sasuke thought so too. He thought that his talent might not be as good as Baizen's. But he should still be better than Uzumaki Naruto. This can be seen from Uzumaki Naruto's academic performance. This Uzumaki Naruto doesn't seem to be very smart. Intelligence and talent are still related to each other. It is precisely because of this. Uchiha Sasuke looked at Kakashi expectantly, hoping that his performance just now would be in Kakashi's eyes. "Senior Kakashi, do you think I am suitable?" Kakashi, who was standing aside, looked at Uchiha Sasuke's reaction, paused slightly, and then said directly, "It's quite suitable. From today, I will start to guide you in your practice." Perhaps because he remembered Uchiha Obito, Inkashi's voice couldn't help but carry a little emotion. After all, just now, Uchiha Sasuke was suppressed and beaten by Uzumaki Naruto, but he gritted his teeth and persisted. It really looks like the Uchiha Obito who was always beaten by himself. The same weakness, the same perseverance. After getting Kakashi's reply, Uchiha Sasuke showed an extremely happy smile. He was finally one step closer to revenge, and it was an extremely critical step. Uchiha Sasuke, who was still panting, took a deep breath at this moment, and then straightened his back with great difficulty, and then bowed deeply to Kakashi. Thank you, Senior Kakashi. Looking at this scene, no matter how much Kakashi felt, even Baisan felt a little emotional. It really is that experience changes personality. Under his influence, Uchiha Sasuke actually became like this. And became like this. It's really good. At least he will live a little easier, with less pressure in his heart, and will not become a distorted and extremely crazy Avenger. At first it was Uzumaki Naruto. Now it's Uchiha Sasuke. I changed their childhood, so I am a good person. However, while Baisan was thinking about these things, Uchiha Sasuke turned his eyes directly to Baisan, and then called out carefully, Mr. Baisan. Seeing this scene, everyone turned their eyes to Baisan and Sasuke. At the moment when Baisan looked at Sasuke, Uchiha Sasuke said seriously, I have just seen the true strength of Naruto. Now, I want to see your true strength, Mr. Baisan. I hope you don't refuse. I really want to see how big the gap is between me and the geniuses of the same age. Only in this way can I find my own position. Quote. Uchiha Sasuke's attitude was very sincere. As Uchiha Sasuke's words fell, others could not help but turn their eyes to Baisan. Ever since Might Guy tested Baisan to see if he could practice the 8 inner gates, when Might Guy opened the 6th gate of the 8 inner gates, Baisan and Might Guy both used all their strength. Baisan and Might Guy never really used their full strength again. In the last test, only Naruto on the side and Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was peeping with a telescope technique, watched the battle in its entirety and saw Baisan's genius and strength. The peacock soaring against the wind bird is already a very spectacular scene. And Baisan, who was able to create this move, really shocked Might Guy, Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Naruto. It was also because of that battle that Uzumaki Naruto was very interested in Baisan. Zan already deeply admires Baisan. There is nothing to keep secret about that battle, not to mention that Uzumaki Naruto is a person who can't keep secrets. So Tiantian and Hinata also know how powerful Baisan is. As for Kakashi, needless to say, he naturally knows how powerful Chao Conk is, and Kakashi can naturally imagine a move that is a little stronger than Chao Conk. But Tiantian and Hinata can hardly imagine it. As for Sasuke, who knows even less, it is even more difficult to imagine how powerful Baisan is. In addition, a full year has passed since that battle. Those who know how powerful Baisan is want to see how much Baisan has improved in the past year. Those who only know that Baisan is powerful want to see how powerful Baisan is. That's why. Those who look at Baisan, they are all looking forward to it. As for Baisan, he still has the trump card of shadow. It doesn't matter if he shows his other strengths. After all, Baisan is not a person who likes to keep a low profile. Baisan is a genius. There is nothing to hide. Thinking like this, seeing the expressions of the crowd, Baisan also cast his eyes on Uchiha Sasuke, and then calmly said, Sasuke, I agree to your request. But when I show my true strength, I hope you can be mentally prepared. The world of ninja is much bigger than you think. Whether it is Might Guy teacher or Kakashi senior, they have stronger moves than mine. Listening to Baisan's words, everyone's expressions are also different, but most of them are excited. They can finally see Baisan's progress and Baisan's true strength. After hearing Baisan's answer, Uchiha Sasuke's face first became happy, and then became serious. After nodding slightly, he directly replied, I know. Baisan, please start. As Uchiha Sasuke's words fell, Might Guy and Kakashi also consciously made way for Baisan. Then, everyone's eyes were directed at Baisan. Under everyone's gaze, Baisan mobilized the chakra in his body and activated the 2 talents of Storm Power and Blazing Fox Fire. However, no matter what, Baizan's strong chakra fluctuations have moved everyone present. This chakra is really too strong. In the next moment, a strong storm was set off, and the red flames also rose. The wind and fire merged in an instant, causing the flames to rise with the wind. But in an instant, the surging and hot red flames wrapped the right fist that Zan stretched out. Even though this move has just been brewing, the momentum is not weaker than the lightning-style dry bird that Kakashi just released. So, Baizan punched. Holy Phoenix. Soaring. A low hum sounded, and the surging and hot flames turned into a flaming phoenix bird transformed from fire in an instant. Although this fire phoenix bird is abstract, it is full of Hokage, unparalleled momentum, fiery and violent, surging. When it was just condensed, it was only 30 centimeters in size. But as Baizan punched out, this abstract fire phoenix bird expanded rapidly. Only 10 meters away from Baizan's fist, the 3-centimeter fire phoenix bird turned into an abstract fire phoenix bird that was 50 meters long. The flames were magnificent, the heat waves were surging, the momentum was vast, and the power was unparalleled. The screaming phoenix sounded through the clouds, and the fire-holy phoenix soared into the sky. But in a breath, this fire-holy phoenix directly spread its wings, soared into the sky, and rushed straight into the sky. Such a posture, such momentum, such speed. It really shocked everyone present again and again. Is this Baizan's true strength? Really powerful. If I had such a talent, maybe it wouldn't take long for me to complete my revenge. Just as Baizan said, training requires guidance. With the guidance of Kakashi Sr., I will definitely become stronger quickly. And Baizan said that Might Guy Sr. and Kakashi Sr. actually have more powerful moves than this one. As long as they sincerely guide me, I will be able to control such power sooner or later. It won't take long, Uchiha Itachi, just wait for me. Uchiha Sasuke couldn't help but roar and shout in his heart. Is this the real power of Oni-chan? It's so strong. As expected, Oni-chan is the most perfect incarnation. Tiantian thought to herself. Baizan-kun is really strong, and he is so handsome, so perfect. Hinata's eyes were filled with waves. As expected of Baizan, he has made great progress this year. I really need to work harder to catch up with Baizan. The admiration in Naruto's eyes became more intense. Naruto, Sasuke, Tenten, and Hinata were just thinking. But Might Guy and Kakashi spoke directly. Might Guy gave Baizan a thumbs up, and then said happily, as expected of Baizan, this move of Holy Phoenix soaring should be an upgraded version of the last move of Windbird soaring. The perfect combination of wind style and fire style, such power, such speed, such momentum, is really too strong. I am so lucky to have a student like you. Kakashi added with some shock. Guy, you are really lucky to have Baizan as a student. It is still a peaceful era, and Baizan is so old that he can create such a 007 move comparable to S-level ninjutsu. It is really shocking. Hearing Kakashi say this, Might Guy on the side also said directly, it is true. Although Kakashi, you have been called a genius since childhood, Baizan is indeed much better than you. The word, genius, seems to have attracted the attention of Sasuke and others, making them cast their eyes on Kakashi. At this time, Baizan had already restrained his breath, and then cast his eyes on everyone, and said with a smile, yes, don't underestimate Kakashi Senpai. Kakashi Senpai is a famous genius. He graduated from the ninja school at the age of 5, became a Chunin at the age of 6, and became a Jonin at the age of 12. He is very famous in the entire ninja world, and he is also a genius who created his own ninjutsu. The Chidori just now was created by Kakashi Senpai himself. I heard that Kakashi Senpai was still very young when he created Chidori. And according to my observation, Chidori is strong, but not perfect enough. So Kakashi Senpai must have an upgraded version of Chidori, lightning-style ninjutsu. And these are just the tip of the iceberg of Kakashi Senpai, you can imagine it at will. Sasuke, you can get the guidance of Kakashi Senpai, you really need to practice well. Listening to the series of words said by Baizan, Might Guy also laughed. Indeed, Kakashi is the goal I have always pursued. Although Kakashi looks a little unreliable now, he is still very strong. Kakashi, who is standing aside, said this while looking at Baizan and Might Guy. and there seemed to be a flash of complexity and emotion in his eyes. This complexity and emotion only flashed by, and then Kakashi said with a bit of helplessness and laziness, "Baisan, your intelligence collection and deduction ability is still so outstanding. You have dug out all the cards I have hidden for so long." It was this conversation between Baisan, Might Guy, and Kakashi. It also shocked everyone present. What Baisan just said is actually true. This senior Kakashi is actually this amazing. He graduated from the ninja school at the age of 5, became a Chunin at the age of 6, and a Jonin at the age of 12. And that Chidori was actually created by senior Kakashi when he was younger, and there is an upgraded version of that Chidori. This is really too genius. Sasuke stared at Kakashi, thinking about his own strength, thinking about what he was doing when he was 5 or 6 years old, and a strong flame appeared in his eyes. I'm not a genius after all. Senior Kakashi has such an outstanding talent, but he can't even beat Baisan. Sure enough, Baisan is a true genius. I've decided that Baisan will be my goal in the future. With the guidance of Senior Kakashi, I must work hard to practice. If I don't try my best, how can I know that I can't surpass Baisan? As for Uchiha Itachi, this man is really strong. But I believe that Baisan must be stronger than this man. Wait, follow behind Baisan. I don't need to surpass Baisan. As long as I can get close to Baisan's strength, I will definitely be able to get the power that allows me to complete my revenge. Wait. Just as Uchiha Sasuke was thinking this, Naruto on the side had already widened his eyes and shouted in shock, "Wow, Senior Kakashi, you are so strong. I couldn't tell when we were together before. The Chidori move just now was really cool, but unfortunately I don't have the lightning attribute, only the wind attribute, otherwise I would ask you to teach me that move." Hearing Uzumaki Naruto's reaction, Kakashi also smiled and replied, "I feel that even if you have the lightning attribute, it's useless, Naruto. You have the wind attribute, but it's difficult to learn ordinary wind style ninjutsu, which proves that you are not suitable for learning ninjutsu. But if your physical talent is really good, it's more promising to practice taijutsu with Guy." Yes. Naruto was not angry at all, but felt that what Kakashi said made sense. Ninjutsu and the like. It is indeed not as good as using fists. And the seal. It is really too troublesome. Having a shadow clone technique is almost enough. Just like Baisan said. One trick, 0.8 to eat all the world. Using a technique well and using it well is enough. Okay, time is almost up, let's start today's training. Might Guy on the side suggested enthusiastically. Yes, Teacher Guy. As expected, Naruto is always the first to respond to Might Guy's words. Sasuke, let Kakashi Sr. guide you in your training, we will go to practice first. Baisan said to Uchiha Sasuke. He took Tenten, Hinata, and Naruto Sanri, and followed Might Guy's footsteps. Then, Uchiha Sasuke turned his attention to Kakashi. Let's start with the basics. Quote, the practice of everyone has begun. Naruto, Sasuke, Tenten, and Hinata were just thinking. But Might Guy and Kakashi spoke directly. Might Guy gave Baisan a thumbs up, and then said happily, as expected of Baisan, this move of Holy Phoenix Soaring should be an upgraded version of the last move of Windbird Soaring. The perfect combination of wind style and fire style, such power, such speed, such momentum, is really too strong. I am so lucky to have a student like you. Kakashi added with some shock. Guy, you are really lucky to have Baisan as a student. It is still a peaceful era, and Baisan is so old that he can create such a 007 move comparable to S-level ninjutsu. It is really shocking. Hearing Kakashi say this, Might Guy on the side also said directly, it is true. Although Kakashi, you have been called a genius since childhood, Baisan is indeed much better than you. The word, genius, seems to have attracted the attention of Sasuke and others, making them cast their eyes on Kakashi. At this time, Baisan had already restrained his breath, and then cast his eyes on everyone, and said with a smile, yes, don't underestimate Kakashi Senpai. Kakashi Senpai is a famous genius. He graduated from the ninja school at the age of 5, became a Chunin at the age of 6, and became a Jonin at the age of 12. He is very famous in the entire ninja world, and he is also a genius who created his own ninjutsu. The Chidori just now was created by Kakashi Senpai himself. I heard that Kakashi Senpai was still very young when he created Chidori. And according to my observation, Chidori is strong, but not perfect enough. So Kakashi Senpai must have an upgraded version of Chidori, lightning-style ninjutsu. And these are just the tip of the iceberg of Kakashi Senpai, you can imagine it at will. Sasuke, you can get the guidance of Kakashi Senpai, you really need to practice well. Listening to the series of words said by Bai Zan, Might Guy also laughed. Indeed, Kakashi is the goal I have always pursued. Although Kakashi looks a little unreliable now, he is still very strong. Kakashi, who is standing aside, said this while looking at Bai Zan and Might Guy, and there seemed to be a flash of complexity and emotion in his eyes. This complexity and emotion only flashed by, and then Kakashi said with a bit of helplessness and laziness, Bai Zan, your intelligence collection and deduction ability is still so outstanding. You have dug out all the cards I have hidden for so long. It was this conversation between Bai Zan, Might Guy, and Kakashi. It also shocked everyone present. What Bai Zan just said is actually true. This senior Kakashi is actually this amazing. He graduated from the ninja school at the age of 5, became a Chunin at the age of 6, and a Jonin at the age of 12. And that Chidori was actually created by senior Kakashi when he was younger, and there is an upgraded version of that Chidori. This is really too genius. Sasuke stared at Kakashi, thinking about his own strength, thinking about what he was doing when he was 5 or 6 years old, and a strong flame appeared in his eyes. I'm not a genius after all. Senior Kakashi has such an outstanding talent, but he can't even beat Bai Zan. Sure enough, Bai Zan is a true genius. I've decided that Bai Zan will be my goal in the future. With the guidance of Senior Kakashi, I must work hard to practice. If I don't try my best, how can I know that I can't surpass Bai Zan? As for Uchiha Itachi, this man is really strong. But I believe that Bai Zan must be stronger than this man. Wait, follow behind Bai Zan. I don't need to surpass Bai Zan. As long as I can get close to Bai Zan's strength, I will definitely be able to get the power that allows me to complete my revenge. Wait. Just as Uchiha Sasuke was thinking this, Naruto on the side had already widened his eyes and shouted in shock. Wow, Senior Kakashi, you are so strong. I couldn't tell when we were together before. The Chidori move just now was really cool, but unfortunately I don't have the lightning attribute, only the wind attribute, otherwise I would ask you to teach me that move. Hearing Uzumaki Naruto's reaction, Kakashi also smiled and replied, I feel that even if you have the lightning attribute, it's useless, Naruto. You have the wind attribute, but it's difficult to learn ordinary wind-style ninjutsu, which proves that you are not suitable for learning ninjutsu. But if your physical talent is really good, it's more promising to practice taijutsu with Guy. Yes. Naruto was not angry at all, but felt that what Kakashi said made sense. Ninjutsu and the like. It is indeed not as good as using fists. And the seal. It is really too troublesome. Having a shadow clone technique is almost enough. Just like Bai Zan said. One trick, 0.8 to eat all the world. Using a technique well and using it well is enough. Okay, time is almost up, let's start today's training. Might Guy on the side suggested enthusiastically. Yes, Teacher Guy. As expected, Naruto is always the first to respond to Might Guy's words. Sasuke, let Kakashi Sr. guide you in your training, we will go to practice first. Bai Zan said to Uchiha Sasuke. He took Tenten, Hinata, and Naruto Sanri, and followed Might Guy's footsteps. Then, Uchiha Sasuke turned his attention to Kakashi. Let's start with the basics. Quote, the practice of everyone has begun. In this world, training, becoming stronger, direction, and positioning are all very serious topics. Basics are beyond words. Physical fitness, mental will, and the quality and content of chakra. These three are the foundations of the foundation. Bai Zan is beyond words. Hinata is beyond words because she has the guidance of her family. For Naruto, Tiantian and the others, their foundations are pretty good under the guidance of Might Guy. Now that the foundation is laid, the remaining issue is the positioning. Bai Zan's positioning is beyond words. Continuously cultivate and evolve summoning beasts, and then take the path of comprehensive development. As long as he develops steadily, Baisan will definitely become the strongest person in this world in the future. Hinata's positioning is beyond words. The surname Hyuga has already arranged Hinata clearly. However, Baisan still suggested that Hinata learn some medical ninjutsu. After all, Hinata's personality is not suitable for killing people. 21. Gentle Fist is used for self-protection, and high-purity white eyes are used for pursuit, as well as auxiliary medical ninjutsu. This is actually quite good. Even if it develops well, Hinata may be able to plot against Tenseigan in the future. Maybe he is also a top-level combat force. Naruto specializes in taijutsu, and fights with shadow clone technique and multiple shadow clone technique. Once the 8 inner gates are opened, Naruto is not lacking in explosive power. In addition, Naruto's sage body advantage is too strong. The first few gates of the 8 inner gates are too casual to open. A considerable part of the side effects are offset by the sage body. Not to mention that Naruto has 9 tails in his body. The tailed beast coat and tailed beast bomb are both very useful. Uzumaki Naruto, who specializes in taijutsu, has a much stronger physique than before. High-intensity taijutsu training and 8 inner gates training can temper the will. With enough physical strength and mental will, it will be easier for Naruto to bear the tailed beast chakra than before. Later, Sage Mode is turned on, and the power of the 6 paths of Sage of 6 paths is transmitted. Naruto's future is beyond doubt, and he will become a top combat force. Although Sasuke has just started formal training. But Sasuke's definition is actually quite clear. Ninjutsu, Genjutsu, Sharingan. This time, Sasuke should learn the Chidori technique earlier than the original Fate track. He may even be able to control the Reikiri technique. Chidori Sharp Spear, Chidori Style, Chidori. This series of ninjutsu is also very promising. Even if it goes a step further, I don't know what powerful moves can be derived. Sasuke seems to be quite talented in developing the Chidori technique. Later, a Sharingan is added. Once the Sharingan is upgraded to Mangekyo, it will bring Sasuke 3 powerful eye techniques. Amaterasu, Flame Control, and Susanoo. Amaterasu and Flame Control are actually nothing special. But Susanoo's technique is really too foul. Incomplete version, complete version, perfect form, ultimate form, and even add fairy technique, tailed beast, wooden golem, artifact. And finally let Sage of 6 paths pass on the power of 6 paths to awaken Rinnegan. Its future is almost the same as Uzumaki Naruto. In fact, that is to say, Baisan, Naruto, Hinata, Sasuke's future positioning is very clear, and they are all very promising. The only problem, it lies in Tenten. If there is no Baisan, Tenten's future path will be ninja tool throwing. Although Tenten's talent is not as good as Naruto, Hinata, and Sasuke's 6 paths bloodline, let alone Baisan's plug-in. But Tenten actually has a spatial talent. In the future, Tenten can store a large number of ninja tools in a different space through time and space ninjutsu, and summon them when needed. Of course, Tenten's method of use is throwing. At the same time, Tiantian can also compress a large number of ninja tools into a scroll, and often use it to transport supplies, and once summoned the sea and huge ships. Such a storage capacity is already terrifying. But these are not the main points. The main point is that Tiantian has a talent for space and can store a large number of ninja tools. This makes Baisan think of King's Treasure. Tiantian's family runs a ninja tool store. Tiangong's forging talent is also good. In this magical world, there are actually many strange techniques. There are actually quite a few people who control ninja tools. If Tiantian has a large number of powerful ninja tools, and uses the secret technique of controlling ninja tools to control such ninja tools at a long distance. Flying Thunder God technique needs kunai to assist. Replace kunai with other ninja tools, and then develop this space ninjutsu a little bit. Maybe Tiantian can really imitate the degraded version of King's Treasure. Of course, Tiantian has a talent for space. Baisan will also have a talent for space in the future. If Baisan develops many space ninjutsu and teaches them to Tiantian, Tiantian may also be able to fight well. After all, that is a space talent. Tiantian calls Baisan, Aoni-chan. Baisan feels that he should help Tiantian. Regarding the positioning of everyone, Bison has already thought about it, and he only needs to guide them in the future. Now Bison's subordinates were only Naruto, Sasuke, Tiantian, and Hinata. As for the future, there will be more people. For example, Shino. After all, Bison and Shino still have a deal. Insect cultivation is a big deal. If there is any result, it will not only be that Bison will have one or more excellent summoning beasts. Shino's strength will also be greatly improved. The secret technique of controlling insects, the secret technique of raising insects, combined with excellent upgraded insects, plus the secret technique of insects. Such a combination will naturally be very powerful. These all are the combat power that Bison can recover and cultivate. As for others, we still have to see their potential. As for the future, Bison has been planning. Everyone worked hard to learn, practice, and become stronger. That's it. Time kept passing. In the summer of the 57th year of Konoha, Aburame Shino found Bison. Bison, Chenyuan has produced results. Even though this was a very happy and joyful thing. But Aburame Shino still looked calm and steady. However, Bison didn't care about Aburame Shino's appearance. After a few flashes of joy in his eyes, Bison directly said, "Come on, take me to see it." Yes. After Aburame Shino responded, he took Bison to the insect garden next to the Aburame family land. In just over 10 minutes, Bison followed Aburame Shino into the insect garden. In this insect garden, there are a total of 300 experimental plots. These 300 experimental plots are separated by barrier techniques, in which all kinds of strange upgraded insects are cultivated. It has to be said that chakra is really a very magical energy. As the root of all techniques, chakra contains too many possibilities. Bison remembered that the leaf rebel ninja was called Bailuo. Soon after, this Bailuo was able to create a technique, a powerful secret technique called the Ghost Ragam technique. Using this secret technique, not only can multiple life forms merge into a monster, but also people can plunder bloodline limits. Although the requirements are very strict, although only 5 bloodline limits can be plundered. But this is also an extremely powerful secret technique. Aburame's insect breeding secret technique is somewhat similar to this Ghost Ragam technique. The future Aburame Shino seems to have used this insect raising secret technique to fuse multiple insects into a giant upgraded insect. Yeah, the insect raising secret technique has some limitations after all. It can only target insects, and this fusion is quite unstable and has a very low probability. But the low probability is not zero, so there is naturally some possibility of success. Although it may not be able to fuse a powerful deformed insect if it succeeds. But there is always such a probability. For example, at this time. Bison, this is the giant upgraded ant I created by fusing more than 700 kinds of ants such as marching ants, termites, black ants, bullet ants, sword-jawed ants, giant ants, fierce ants. Aburame Shino pointed to a giant purple ant trapped in the glass cover of the barrier and spoke to Bison. This giant purple ant is huge, 1 meter long, and its upper body is upright, just like a banrensha. The light purple and dark purple beetle armor, huge wings, 4 legs and 2 arms, and a pair of long antennae on the head look extremely extraordinary, just like a majestic general riding a horse. I want to call this upgraded ant the King of Strength. Ordinary ants can lift objects that are more than 400 times their own weight and can drag objects that are more than 1700 times their own weight. But this King of Strength can lift objects that are 500 times their own weight and can drag objects that are more than 2000 times their own weight. And this is without using chakra. If chakra is used, this data will be improved. This King of Strength weighs a full 20 kilograms. The amount of chakra is also comparable to the standard of ordinary genin. Quote. Aburame Shino began to introduce to Bison. Listening to Aburame Shino's introduction, Bison looked at the purple giant ant with more and more satisfaction. Although this is the world of ninjas, the power of ants is still terrifying. Bison simply calculated that this purple giant ant can lift objects weighing 10 tons and drag objects weighing 40 tons. With such power added to himself, he can almost instantly have a terrifying power comparable to Tsunade's strange power. This is really hard for Bison to imagine. Sure enough, the talents of some creatures are simply not comparable to humans. Although the power of dozens of tons seems to be great. But Bai Zan thought about the power of the excavator, and he was not much shocked. After all, in this world, the power of ninjas is not worse than some machines in Bai Zan's previous life, and it is even stronger. The power of Rinnegan is enough to create a small moon, and the power of Tensagen is enough to cut a small moon. These are not data that can be expressed by dozens of tons, hundreds of tons, or even thousands of tons. Just as Bai Zan was thinking, Aburame Shino continued to introduce. This king of power is not only powerful, but also has a very hard armor, comparable to steel. And the king of power has wings and can fly at a fast speed. If such an ant is well trained, its future combat power will not be bad. Quote. Listening to Aburame Shino's introduction, Bai Zan's satisfaction became more and more intense. The power is terrifying, the defense is strong, and it can fly. This is already very comprehensive. As long as I sign a contract with this king of power, I share the power and talent of the king of power. I can almost become 20% stronger, in terms of money, in an instant. This is already a very terrifying improvement. You know. I can also evolve this king of power. I just don't know. What attribute does this king of power represent? It seems. Maybe it's yang, maybe it's thunder, maybe it's earth element. As for the three attributes of wind, fire, and yin, it should be impossible. After all, they are not related. Thinking like this, Bai Zan nodded directly to Aburame Shino and said directly, I have almost understood the situation of this song, Lord of Power. I am very satisfied. I will take this king of power away now. I will continue to support you in cultivating insects. I hope you can cultivate more excellent upgraded. Listening to Bai Zan's promise, Aburame Shino couldn't help but feel a little happy. However, due to his nature, Aburame Shino still maintained a calm and silent appearance. After a slight pause, Aburame Shino bowed his head to Bai Zan, and then said, Thank you, Bai Zan, I will definitely work hard to cultivate more and stronger upgraded insects, and will not let you down, Bai Zan. Hearing Aburame Shino say this, Bai Zan naturally smiled, and then directly replied, I believe in your talent, just do your best. As for now, let me enter the barrier, I should recover this king of power, and take it away. Listening to Bai Zan's words, Aburame Shino nodded gently. Aburame Shino believes in Bai Zan's strength. Although this king of power is extremely powerful and has iron armor, it can also fly. But the body of an ant is the body of an ant, plus it is not very smart and has too little chakra, so it is not very difficult to subdue it. What's more, when cultivating these upgraded insects, the Aburame clan did a lot of work. The Aburame clan's caution is not exaggerated. These upgraded insects don't even have the chance to hurt people. But in the final analysis, Aburame Shino still believes that Bai Zan's strength can subdue this king of power. So at this time, Aburame Shino began to make seals towards Bai Zan. Secret technique. Barrier passage technique. After a low hum, a faint light appeared directly in Aburame Shino's hand, and then shone on the back of Bai Zan's right hand. As soon as this faint light shone on the back of Bai Zan's right hand, it directly formed a mark similar to a rune. Bai Zan Jun, it's done. Aburame Shino nodded gently at Bai Zan. Yeah. After responding to Aburame Shino, Bai Zan looked at the king of power and then walked over slowly. This barrier was like a layer of glass. And Bai Zan, who had obtained the pass, really went through it directly as if he was passing through a wall. Watching Bai Zan walking towards him step by step, the purple giant ant named the King of Power by Aburame Shino also made a gesture of launching an attack on Bai Zan. When Aburame Shino introduced the King of Power just now, he did not introduce the wisdom of the King of Power. Because the wisdom of the King of Power is indeed not high, and it is not much stronger than ordinary ants. The King of Power, who is not very smart but has great strength, naturally flapped a pair of insect wings behind the insect armor, and then opened the insect mouth, and was about to fly in front of Bai Zan, biting and healing. Facing such a direct attack, Bai Zan's expression was naturally indifferent, relaxed, and freehand. Storm Combat Body. With this talent that can transform his body into a storm, Bai Zan has long been invincible. Bai Zan, who turned into a storm, came behind the King of Calendar in an instant. Turning around, Bai Zan pressed the King of Strength's neck. Ants are very fragile at the joints. After being pressed by Bai Zan, the pain spread throughout the King of Strength's body in an instant. And then, ah! A scream of pain sounded, and the King of Strength fell rapidly in the painful struggle. Because the King of Strength did not fly too high, it didn't take long for the King of Strength to touch the ground. Bang! A collision sounded, and dust flew in an instant. Bai Zan stepped on the King of Strength's neck, and used Yin Dun to control this ability, and penetrated into the King of Strength's brain. Submit. CBEG or die. Although the King of Power is powerful, he is only an upgraded body of an ant after all. Under the threat of death, the King of Power, when he found that he had no power to resist, honestly shouted, "Squeak." Because of the ability of Yin Dun control, Bai Zan can already feel the mental fluctuations of some living beings. Naturally, he knew what the King of Power meant by shouting. The meaning is naturally, "I surrender." Very good, you smear your blood on this scroll, and then input chakra into the scroll. Bai Zan took out the summoning scroll directly, and threw it in front of the King of Power. Of course, Bai Zan did not loosen his feet, but slightly increased some strength, making the King of Power more painful. After all, the King of Power's wisdom is too low. Bai Zan can only use the Yin Dun control talent to communicate with him in the most basic way. It should also be that Bai Zan and the summoning beast share talents, and Bai Zan also has a talent called intelligence. After sharing the past, the summoning beasts became much smarter, at least they could communicate. And for some moves, Bai Zan taught them, they could also learn. Feeling the pain getting stronger, the King of Power quickly opened his mouth and spit out a mouthful of blood, and then quickly input his chakra into it. Looking at the mark on the summoning scroll, Bai Zan also smiled slightly, and then with the power of the storm, a breeze blew the summoning scroll directly into Bai Zan's hand. Then, biting his finger, carrying the chakra directly pressed on the summoning scroll. With the fluorescence of the chakra flashing slightly on the summoning scroll, Bai Zan felt the strange connection between himself and the King of Power. Just the next moment, the mechanical sound sounded again, ding. Host obtains summoning beast. Unnamed, opening the summoning beast attribute page opening, summoning beast. Unnamed, race. King Ant talent. Great strength, iron armor, insect wings, evolvable, evolution requirement. Thunder tree leaves 100 pieces, ding. Strength, talent has been shared. But in an instant, Bai Zan felt the terrifying power on his body. Such power is indeed very terrifying for humans. Such a feeling of abundant power made Bai Zan intoxicated. However, Bai Zan, who had long been accustomed to the sharing of power and talent of summoning beasts, did not stay intoxicated for too long and regained his composure, and then cast his eyes on this unnamed summoning beast of the King Ant race. I have to say, the King Ant race is really appropriate. The King of Ants, the King of Power, referred to as the King Ant, is indeed very worthy of the name. However, this unnamed made Bai Zan a little surprised. So, this system can also be played like this. But these are not the key points. The sharing of power and talent is not the biggest change for Bai Zan. The change of this King Ant is the biggest. Power, spirit, chakra, and the talent of intelligence. All made the King Ant feel the earth-shaking changes. It is also this wisdom that made the King Ant understand. His changes came from Bai Zan. And Bai Zan is his future master. This made Wang Yi reveal a docile and flattering look. And Bai Zan also slowly moved his feet away from Wang Yi's neck. Remember your master's name, my name is Bai Zan. From today on, you are my summoning beast. I guess you have also felt the changes just now, I will tell you directly. Your master, I have the powerful ability to evolve summoning beasts. As long as you offer your loyalty and strength, I can grant you evolution, making you stronger and more perfect. Bai Zan's voice was very calm, but very majestic. As Bai Zan's voice sounded, Aburame Shino on the side couldn't help but widen his eyes full of shock. Fortunately, Aburame Shino always wears sunglasses, otherwise Bai Zan would be able to see Aburame Shino's extremely shocked expression. At this time, Aburame Shino listened to Bai Zan's words, and couldn't help but feel a storm in his heart. It turns out that Bai Zan actually has such a blood limit. No wonder Bai Zan wants to raise a giant insect as a summoning beast. Bai Zan can actually evolve a summoning beast. And this is just the signing, and this king of power has achieved such a huge improvement. This is really a terrifying talent. I really didn't expect it. Bai Zhan's own talent is so strong and powerful. There is actually such a talent to evolve a summoning beast. No wonder Uzumaki Naruto said that Bai Zhan not only raised a ninja dog, a crow, but also a fox. At this time, Bai Zhan got this king of power again. I really don't know to what extent Bai Zhan can evolve and cultivate these summoning beasts. Powerful, really too powerful. Regardless of Aburame Shino's shock, and regardless of what Aburame Shino is thinking in his heart, the important thing is the king ant. Listening to Bai Zhan's words and feeling the foot of Bai Zhan leaving, the king ant slowly stood up, then turned to Bai Zhan and bowed his head respectfully. Squeak. Squeak. Bai Zhan understood the meaning of these two sounds. Yes, my master. Seeing the king ant's reaction, Bai Zhan slowly cast his eyes on the system attribute page of the king ant. Summoning beast. Unnamed. Race. King ant. Talent. Giant strength. Iron armor. Insect wings. Evolvable. Evolution requirement. Thunder tree leaves 100 pieces. The evolution material required for the first evolution of the king ant is 100 pieces of thunder tree leaves. It seems that the king ant is a summoning beast with thunder attribute. In this case, the king ant will be called Thunder. Bai Zhan thought to himself. Thinking like this, Bai Zhan continued to speak to the king ant, or Thunder. Very good, since you have agreed to surrender, from today on, you will be called Thunder. Quote. Squeak. Squeak. Zunli nodded respectfully, and gently shook the tentacles on his head, and seemed to like this name very much. Seeing Zunli's reaction, Bai Zhan also raised the corners of his mouth slightly, revealing a satisfied smile. After a slight pause, Bai Zhan turned his gaze to Aburame Shino. Shino, open the barrier. Yes. Aburame Shino responded and began to stretch out his hands to make seals. Perhaps because he knew how powerful Bai Zhan was, Aburame Shino seemed to be in awe. The pass that Aburame Shino had given Bai Zhan just now was just a one-time item. After Bai Zhan passed through the barrier, he disappeared directly. There was only one Zunli in the barrier. Now Zunli had become Bai Zhan's summoning beast, so there was naturally no danger in this experimental area. When Bai Zhan watched the barrier like a glass cover disappear, Bai Zhan directly ordered Zunli, let's go. After the words fell, Bai Zhan walked directly to the exit, and Zunli naturally followed behind Bai Zhan respectfully, like a loyal guard. Shino, I'll take Zunli away first. You continue to be busy with your work, and I look forward to your new achievements. Bai Zhan said goodbye. Yes, Bai Zhan, I won't let you down. Aburame Shino replied with his head slightly lowered. Then, Bai Zhan left the insect garden with Zunli. On the way, Bai Zhan was thinking about the leaf of thunder tree. The thunder tree is a special tree species in the land of thunder, which has the ability to attract thunder. Well, it is more likely to be struck by lightning. Although the country of thunder is named because there are many towering mountains in the country, and the deafening thunder echoes in its mountains. But the thunder and lightning in the land of thunder are much more than other regions. Otherwise, the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village would not be so good at lightning style. The leaves of thunder tree are of no value, so no one sells them. But it is precisely because of this. As long as it takes some time, Bai Zhan can easily get the leaves of thunder tree. Order people to pick them, or directly purchase them. Just post a task, I'm not short of money anyway. After thinking quickly, Bai Zhan murmured in a low voice. This year is the 57th year of Konoha, and Bai Zhan has been controlling Danzo for 2 years. It has to be said that the power of the root is obedient and hidden. Danzo's methods are also cruel enough. He can suppress people with identity, status, power, force, and justice. It's really easy for Danzo to do it. It's precisely because of this that Bai Zhan doesn't mind giving Danzo some ways to make money. This era is really backward. There are not many people who can read, let alone other things. However, although this era is backward, it has some strange products in a very 937 weird way. For example, some electrical appliances, movies, and even trains in the snow country. Since these technologies are already available, just use them directly. Business, industry, entertainment. After throwing some things to Danzo, Danzo secretly made a lot of money. This money Naturally, it belongs to Bison. That's why. Bison never minds spending money on things that can be solved with money. After thinking about a result, Bison stopped thinking about it. When he got home, Bison arranged Zunli and went to the basement. Zunli has 3 talents: giant strength, armor, and insect wings. Needless to say, giant strength, I can already feel the powerful experience in my body. After Shadow evolved into Black Feather Crow for the first time, he had 4 talents: Black Hidden, Steel Black Feather, Black Feather Rapid Hair, and Black Feather Regeneration. Shadow's 3 Black Feather talents, reflected in my hair. With the subsequent evolution, the 4 talents of Black Hidden, Steel Black Feather, Black Feather Rapid Hair, and Black Feather Regeneration have all been attributed to the Shadow Overlord talent. I have completed the 3rd evolution and evolved into the shadow of the Phantom Night King Crow. I can transform into a shadow and dominate the shadow. The body is the shadow, and the feathers are naturally part of the shadow. For me who shares power and talent with the shadow, hair is also part of the shadow. What the shadow can do, I can do too. I can make my hair shadow-like, so that I can attack, defend, entangle, and even grow rapidly. At this point, I have mastered all of Jiraiya's hair secrets, and even more comprehensive and powerful than Jiraiya's hair secrets. So, now what will happen to the 2 talents of insect armor and insect wings when they work on me? Just like that, Bison directly mobilized the chakra in his body and activated the insect armor talent at the same time. In the next moment, Bison found that his skin was glowing with a little faint light. This faint light was like a fainter metallic luster. This change made Bison's eyes flash with enlightenment, and then Bison nodded gently. I see. The talent of insect armor has been reflected on my body, that is, it acts on my skin. Such a change really looks a bit like armament Hokage, but it is not pitch black. But it only has defense power. No, that's not right. It is hard, but it does not only represent defense, it represents attack. The talent of giant force has greatly increased the strength of my body. The fists that hit with dozens of tons of force have a lot of reaction, which may hurt me. But with the talent of insect armor, it won't be like that. With the greatly increased defense, I can use this huge force at will. As he spoke, Bison nodded gently. With a little force on his nails, his skin was indeed very hard, comparable to a layer of steel skin. If combined with chakra, Bison's defense is already very strong. Maybe Bison can still resist some low-level ninjutsu. I almost understand the talent of insect armor. Next, it's time to test the talent of insect wings. Will I grow wings after using this talent? Bison was a little curious, but he didn't plan to think too much. After all, this kind of thing, just try it and you will know. After a slight pause, Bison activated the talent of wings. The next moment, the chakra in Bison's body overflowed directly, and then quickly gathered on Bison's back. But in an instant, a pair of light blue insect wings transformed by chakra appeared on Bison's back. So that's it, the talent that can be replaced by body organs and tissues is to directly replace them with the original organs and tissues of my body. If there is none, use chakra to construct them. But I have to say that the talent of insect wings is really a bit useless for me. After gently flapping the pair of chakra wings a few times, Bison landed smoothly again 3 meters above the ground. 0.9 is really not a good speed. Whether I use the storm body, storm power, blazing fox fire, or use the shadow domination talent to condense a pair of shadow wings, I can fly easily, faster, and more flexibly. But this is not a big deal. After all, the current Thunderbolt has not evolved yet. Evolve once, evolve twice, evolve 3 times. I don't know what kind of talent the Thunderbolt can get after evolution. But no matter what, this talent will definitely be sublimated. If the Thunderworm wings can be upgraded, it may be very practical and powerful. Yeah, and it's very handsome. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support our channel.